Hi guys, welcome back. I've had this watch with me for about a week or so. I've had it on the wrist for about a week, and I want to share my thoughts of what I think of it. I've actually got 6 likes and 3 dislikes of this watch. So stick around and I'll share my thoughts. If you like my content and you want to see more, please help the channel by subscribing, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. So before we start on this watch, I want to share a couple of thoughts. I want to share some comments about the 2 watches that I had for sale a few days ago. I put them online. It was the SPB127 and the 6105-8110, and just want to share and say, look, thank you very much guys for everybody that actually commented, everyone that inputted. The offers that came through were amazing on email. Thank you very much. The SPB127 is now sold. It actually fetched a really good price. I don't know why, but look, it went for a really decent price, and that's gone to a gentleman, one of my viewers, so thank you very much for that. And the 6105-8110, look, everyone's been telling me don't sell it, don't sell it, don't sell it, and you know, you're not going to be able to replace it. I got it, I understand guys. It's one of those vintage, look, it's probably Seiko's most iconic dive watch next to the 62 Mass, and it's in great condition, and it's probably unreplaceable. You know, if I ever was to sell it, I've decided to keep it. I've decided to keep it in the collection. I've emailed all the people that have you know, responded and so forth, and thank you very much for your responses. The watch is going to stay in my collection for a few more years. Thank you guys. I had a lot of good offers on this, a lot of good offers. It finally settled on about $4,400, but I have decided to keep the watch. It's something that, like everyone's been telling me, if you sell it, you're going to regret it. You're not going to be able to replace it, something that good with a backstory like that. So look, it's going to stay. It is special. It's very special to me, but maybe I had a mental blank for a little while, who knows, but it's not going to be for sale. It's going to stay in my collection. But look, let's get on to this watch. This watch I purchased, like I said, well, basically a week ago, but I've been wearing it every day. I've just put it on a engineer's bracelet. This is not the bracelet that I want on it. I actually ordered a couple of vintage leather straps, and I'm just waiting for them to get delivered. So it's on this for now. But let's start off and see the review on what I like and what I don't like about this. So my first 6 likes of this is, number 1, wearability. The watch is really, really wearable. People have been commenting, and look, I want to thank you guys for the comments. Everyone's been speaking about the size of the watch. Oh, it's not the same as what the original. And look, let me tell you, it wears like a 40mm watch. It wears exactly like a 40mm. The original was 38.2, but this watch here, if you measure the case itself, it's 40mm. I've spoken that the bezel extends over slightly by about a mil and a bit, so it's 41.3, but the case is 40mm, and it wears like a 40mm watch. In fact, Seiko have done something very interesting with this. We know that the thickness of the watch is 11.3, whereas the original was 11.2, so that's fantastic. But they've done an interesting thing with the lug-to-lug distance on this, which I'm really impressed. The lug-to-lug is 48.3mm, but they've actually set the lug holes in slightly. So if you have a look at that, they're recessed backwards. If you have a look at the original strap, the original bracelet that comes on this, the swivel point is recessed back. It's not where the lug end is, and it's not further than the lug end. So it's actually recessed backwards, so it swivels from a point which is further in from the lug. Because of that, the watch wears smaller. It actually tapers down like the original, and then it wears smaller. So the distance that the lug-to-lug width is basically 46.5, measure at 46.5mm. So this wears like a 39-40mm watch. I've had it on the wrist all week. I've not wanted to take it off. It's really, really nice. So that's my number 1 like. Number 2, the bezel. Let me zoom up on this so we can have a look. The bezel is one of the main reasons why I purchased this, and the look of the dial. The bezel is true to the original. It is stunning. It is exactly how the original is. It's in its detail, in its markings, in its size, and its color. It's spot on. It's beautiful, and I'm really, really pleased they got that right. It's a bi-directional bezel, so it turns both left and right. It's silent, but it's smooth but really firm. So I've had it on all week and it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved not 1 millimeter. So I've knocked it here and there. It hasn't moved at all. So I love the bezel. They've got it right. They've got it exactly to the original, which is lovely. Number 3, the accuracy of and layout of the dial. The dial is perfect. The dial is true to the original. It's laid out from its markers. It's the indices, the loom, the hands, the positioning of everything is exactly where it needs to be. So I'm really impressed with that. I purchased it because of its look. I like the 1964 original crown chronograph. That's why I bought this. And it looks exactly the same. The only addition, like I said, it's got the date window at the 3 o'clock, a nicely framed date window, which is lovely. And they remove the chronograph function itself, but the general look and layout of the watch is exactly the same. I love it. So very pleased. Number 4, the movement. The watch comes with a 6R35 movement, which features basically 70-hour power reserve. Very pleased. Like I said, I've worn this all week, and it's gonna, I can take it off for a couple of days. It's gonna tick away. That's a really welcome feature on these new watches, so I like that. Number 5, the sapphire crystal. It is doing a superb job. It's got an anti-reflective coating, and sometimes I look at this and the crystal disappears. The dial is so clean and the crystal disappears. It's like it's not even there. So they've done a great job on the sapphire crystal on this. I'm really impressed. The original had a slight dome on it. This one isn't. This one's a flat crystal. It would have been nice to have the dome, but not at the cost of getting a thicker watch. I like the thinness of this watch. I like the fact that this watch is 11.3 millimeters and the original was 11.2. So because of those specs, this watch wears really petitely on my wrist, so I like that. Let me give you a wrist shot, guys, before we continue. So there you go. So there it is on my 7-inch wrist. It sits really good. It's really flat. I hardly know that it's been on my wrist all week, so I've been enjoying wearing this. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure. So that's a real big plus. Is like I said, the wearability, but the legibility. The crystal is fantastic. Number 6, like on this watch, the signed crown. Thank you very much, Seiko. It's lovely. It's a beautiful touch. I'm glad they included a signed crown. It's just set it off slightly nicer. So really good touch. I'm impressed on that. So they're my 6 likes of the watch. That's what I like about this watch. But I do have 3 dislikes. Number 1, the crown. I know that I like the signed crown, but the crown is a little bit small. It's just a tad small to grab. I think the original had a slightly bigger crown, but this works as a plus and a minus. The fact that it's small, okay, my dislike is that I struggle sometimes to grab it and to hack it. You've got to have a little bit of a nail. But it also works in its favor because it doesn't protrude. When you're wearing it, I've not even noticed that it's there in daily wear. It's not affected my wrist, so it's a plus and minus. But it could have been a little bit bigger. I don't know whether that would have benefited the watch, but that's one of my my gripes. Number 2, the watch is limited edition to 1,964 units worldwide, and its price. I mean, really, Seiko, this is a beautiful watch. They didn't need to make a limited edition. They could have, supplied this to the general public on an ongoing basis with a slightly cheaper price. So I have a bit of a gripe there. It would have been nice not to be a limited edition so that more people can access it, because once a watch like this is sold out, it's sold out, and that's a shame. I know it makes you feel special owning a limited edition, saying, hey, well, I've got one. Yeah, they appreciate, that's nice, but I don't know. It's a neither here nor there for me. It would have been nice not to be a limited edition. So that's the number 2. And my number 3 dislike of the watch, they've removed the crown chronograph, the single pusher, and they've replaced it with a date. I like the date. I don't mind it. If they could have put the original chronograph feature, the single pusher, on this without sacrificing its thickness, that would have been a plus. That would have been a big plus. But to put that back in there for nostalgic purposes, remove the date, put the original pusher in here to make it look exactly the same, but not sacrificing the thickness. If the thickness has to be sacrificed in any formal manner, I wouldn't want that. But they're my 3 dislikes, they're my 6 likes. Look, the honeymoon is over. Like I said, I've had it for a week, I've been wearing it. I still love it. I'm actually really enjoying this watch, and it's a watch that's going to stay in my collection. It's a watch that I really appreciate what they've done. It's a little bit better, a little bit bigger in size from the original, like 40mm. How this wears as compared to a 38.2, but I like it. I like it because of the fact I think it's brought it up in today's modern times. 38 is a little bit small for a man, or especially someone of a 7 or 8 inch wrists. You know, this is got a more broader, you know, as a 40mm watch, it's a more broader audience. So, you know, that's a big plus. But look, it's staying in my collection. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you guys. Let me know your comments and your thoughts, what you guys think. It's comfortable on the engineer's bracelet. You know, this thing hugs around. The fact that the lugs themselves taper down quite sharply, exactly like the original, this thing starts to hug your wrist really early. So it's a really wearable watch. It's comfort, it's presence. But like I said, I like to dress this thing down. I like the sporty look of it, where I'd have a vintage leather strap as compared to a bracelet. But it's one of those watches that's you know, it's going to be staying with me, you know, just like this thing here. It's going to be staying. That thing I can't replace, or I'm pretty sure that I can't replace it. This thing here, well, you know, obviously they're going to be floating around for the next couple of years in second-hand market maybe, but you know, there are a few new ones available, you know, on eBay. I've seen 1 or 2, but yeah, with that one there, it's staying for now. It's my pride and joy, guys. And look, thank you for persuading me on that. But yeah, look, leave your comments on this. Let me know what you guys think. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys.